3rd, 2024. The last message we sent was obviously in April. This is our year-end recap. This is the agenda real quick. I'm not going to run through it because we're going to run out of time. So this is the way we're going to stretch this meeting out, top to bottom. What I'd like to do, first of all, next slide.
Is just a second before that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So first of all, thanks to everyone for being here. I appreciate taking your time for this. All the drivers out on the road delivering our freight, thank you. We'll be sending this recorded message out to you. Before we get in, and yeah, there's a lot of information to share with you today, a lot of good stuff. But first, we've got a few members of our family first of all, John Brooks, one of our members of the family for over 20 years, passed in the last year. We've got a few folks going through some tough times as well that are currently part of the family. Raymond Animal Brooks, who's, I think all of you know Animal. He's been here for over 30 years, but he's going through his own fight right now, and he could use your prayers. And Glenn Nust, who was scheduled to be up here today, Glenn's got a daughter going through some health issues as well. So we have some people in the family struggling. We're just going to take a little bit of silence to send them some love, send them some good vibes, and some prayers if you like to do that as well.
So just a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay, next slide. So we talked about these away award winners back in January, and we'd like to honor these people again. I'm not going to read all these names. I know some are in the room. If you see your name up there, would you please stand up so we can applaud you? Bill, Ellie, come on up.
Thank you again for your service, for your outstanding work. For the rest of you in the room, every year in December at our Christmas party, we recognize people. There's an awards. You get nominated by other people here in the organization. That usually starts in December. So yeah, we hope to recognize lots more of you this coming December. Now we're going to get into just what's happening in the industry around us. We've been communicating to you at the end of each quarter here this year. We've been talking about this trucking recession we've been in. I'm here to tell you we're still in that trucking recession, but there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Right now, this is a schedule from FTR. FTR does a lot of research in the transportation industry. We subscribe to a service for them. They give us a trucking report on the industry every month. And this is from their latest edition here in August. And this is what they're forecasting here for rates as we go forward. Right here we're in the middle, kind of on this cusp where some of these rates we might see, or at least they think we're going to start seeing some things get a little bit better, which is a good sign. Obviously, we've been in this industry struggle, this recession for quite a while. So it looks like there's some recovery coming. This is how they see kind of rates going into 2025. You can see spot rates and contract rates both moving up. The contract rates always lag a little bit of the spot rates. Spot is a daily rate. It changes all the time. Contract rates, they take some time. Customers kind of want to hang on to that low rate, don't they, Al? Yeah. So those rates take a little bit of time to change, and you're going to see that when we look at our budget for the year. We are anticipating things getting our industry environment getting a little easier in January, but it's not by any stretch going to be from what we believe and from what FTR believes, a huge turnaround that's going to really whipsaw. None of us can really forecast what's going to happen, but we'd see it getting better, but it's going to take some time. But the good news is it is going to get a little bit better, we feel. So we went through a little bit of this last year, this trucking cycle that we get into almost all the time. We're in one of these areas. We're either thriving when things are terrific, or we're on the way to enduring Like, this is kind of where we're at, where we feel we're at right now, and where we feel we're going to be in through December. We think in January, like I said, things are going to pick up a little bit. What that's really dependent on is truck capacity. So Al and I were just talking. He made a comment to me this morning. He said, yeah, this recession right now, it's different.
It's a different recession. It's a capacity-driven recession. There's just too many damn trucks.
Too many trucks. So that's what FTR here is trying to forecast, which is they see that truck utilization getting better. And that's what's going to help us. That's what's going to help bring those rates up when these customers have fewer choices. So that's what we're thinking. We're hoping in January things are going to get better to finish out the second half of the year. And then we go in, when we're standing up here a year from now, hopefully we're into 2025 a little bit, and we're starting to thrive. So that's what we're hoping for. That's what we're looking forward to, and going to try to execute on. So, how did we do through these tough conditions? So we ended the year with a positive operating ratio. For those of you kind of new about this operating ratio, what that really is if we start with the revenue that we get in, how much is left out of that after we pay for delivering the freight, after we pay for all the people involved in it, what's kind of left to help us reinvest back in the business? So it's a number that we calculate, and essentially if it's below 1, that means you're profitable. If it's above that, it means you're not. So, and really the lower it is, the better. So we were able to, through this last year, I say we, all of you in this room, all of the drivers out there, everyone working really hard. I know it's been a difficult environment for everyone to operate in, but through all of your hard work, we did stay profitable. We forecasted a year ago that we thought we could get through this and be profitable, and the kudos to all of you with the execution to do that we did deliver that. So logistics had a strong recovery. We really got hit here in the wintertime. It hit us October, December, January, but what I can say is the response of this organization was really tremendous. The logistics team bounced back after a really tough January with 4 months of sub-94 operating ratio performance. And I know they worked extremely hard, Jesse and his team, his managers, bidding lots of freight. A lot of this game in a time like this, and Al can speak to this better than all of us, you're just trying to find some freight that you can make a few bucks on. And they worked pretty tirelessly to find that freight, and they delivered the last 4 months of the year in terrific shape. The truck line as well, a nice recovery in the fourth quarter. Through the bid season, it was, again, tough to find freight, but Al, Scott on the truck line side, Pat, pricing freight's pretty tough in an environment like this because your customers are just driving things down. And we're trying to find a place where we can keep some of our good freight, and really, we did, Al, we kept our good freight.
We did. So did a good job on the bidding process. It's always been, they're still bidding freight. The shippers are not giving up, but the market will turn. Trust me, it will by the end of the year, first quarter next year.
Yeah. So, and a few customers, long-standing relationships really helped out. O&E, actually, we got an increase in the last year, which we can't say that about any other account, I don't think. So that was terrific. And also Tyson Foods. They definitely drove some rates down. They took away some things with their private fleet that they have, but they definitely, you'll see, we still grew with them. They recognize that we're a good partner, and they rewarded us with some pretty good freight, relatively. So now, how are we going into 2025? So our consolidated budget is to improve that operating ratio down to 97.5 on a consolidated basis. As you can see, the logistics is leading that, a lot of back to that, the spot market a little bit that we talked about from an environment standpoint, but Jesse's also going to take you through a lot of the things that they have going on, because we as a company are really investing heavily. We're committed to growing our logistics team and our logistics book of business. When I say that investing, that's investing in buildings, it's investing in people, talent, it's investing in training, and it's investing in software. All the things to surround all of us with the tools that are needed so we can really grow that business tremendously here over the next 12 months. So we're investing a lot, and
In the top right box, you guys, look at the customers that are allowing us to do everything, the whole book of business, the truck line, the logistics, and even bulk. This is where we're going to grow, is the diversification that we have with our customers. And we're going to add more customers to this box. But this is a really important point to make about how the relationships we have with our customers and what they allow us to do. Because we've just scratched the surface with bulk and logistics, and there's a lot more to come.
And what I want to stress is everyone in this room is a part of this, because a customer like Tyson, who's doing business across all three of those divisions, they look at us all together. They look at us as one. So if there's a slip up anywhere, we can get into some trouble. So everything that everyone's doing to take care of our customers, no matter what division you're in, is going to help the whole. That's what we have to look out for. It's great that we can open these doors because of the good work that we've done, but it also means we got to continue doing that good work every single day. So for all of you out there, the work that you do every day supports that growth all around. So, and I jumped ahead, but we're going to jump in. So that was our budget. So how are we doing so far? Well, on a year-to-date through the first couple of months, I'm happy to report that we are exceeding that budget, an operating ratio of 97.6. So that's the right side of 100 to keep us making a few bucks that we can keep reinvesting back into the business. So leading that, logistics doing really well. We just talked about the budget that they have. They're on track with that budget and exceeding some of their performance from the previous year. The truck line as well really excelled in the first couple of months versus what we thought. That tough trucking budget that you saw up there, the worst of that was anticipated to be here in July or June and July starting out the year. So we were able to do much better than that on the truck line side for a lot of reasons. Our O&E, our long haul dray business, really did really well. As I mentioned, O&E is one of those customers that actually gave us an increase. They're taking care of us, and the team that we have in operations, all of the drivers are really taking care of them, and it's working well. They're giving us more freight, and we've got some goals that we're going to share to grow that business some more. But yeah, tremendous execution so far. So for all of you in the room, thank you so much. Driver productivity was up. Deadhead miles, if you want to improve a truck line, just get them hauling more freight all the time. And we were able to do that through a lot of work of a lot of people in our ops team. And also, our repair and maintenance costs were one of the lowest levels I've ever seen. So that definitely contributed a lot. Anybody here from the shop? Breakdown. Really? Come on, stand up, stand up. I want to recognize. Ellie and a lot of the other folks in repair and maintenance over at the terminal, we don't see them a lot. Give them a pat on the back, tell them thank you for what they do, because they do a lot of things behind the scenes. Keep our trucks moving, keep taking care of our customers. So thank you so much for what y'all do.
Are we just going to run through this real quick? These are the speakers coming up yet to follow up. So next slide. Okay, so obviously the productivity is up, that Ron talked about earlier, 2.2%, repair maintenance, reduced the penny a mile. The overhead cost reduction of $800,000, which is incredible. I'd like to talk about the new customers we brought in, PetSmart, Coors, Seaboard Farms, Daily Foods, Mars Pet Care. There's more customers coming on board yet. So the bid seasons are getting ready to start. We're getting opportunities more with Pepsi Cola. There's a couple more bids that don't come to mind, but this fall we'll probably have a lot more bids coming out for more opportunities for not only logistics but for the truck line as well. 39 new trucks this year for the budget. We really plan on growing long haul dray as well, including driver counts, and I'll let Rob talk about our artificial intelligence automation. And last, on the recycling of the reefer units. So what that means is we're just going to take old reefer trailers that have a unit that has very few hours on them. We'll probably pull the unit off, slap it on a new trailer, a new box, and then it really keeps us the cost down, because the new reefer unit is costing about, what, $25,000 now?
Yeah, you
So
got it.
we got a reefer unit that is in fine shape with low hours. We're just gonna put it on a new box. So we're gonna do a test for 5 trailers here this fall and see how this goes.
Yeah, Glenn's done a lot of analysis on it, and he's the one who really brought this to us. Said, hey, I think we can skip a year buying a piece of new equipment, which definitely is going to save some money. So we're anxious to see how that goes. There's a few intricacies to it, but we do think, and again, it's part of the fact that we run reefers, we run vans, because we're going to patch a hole in this thing, and we might be able to use it at some of our customers. We're not sure how much, but we're going to try. But it gives us an opportunity to do so because we have some different opportunities, and we do a lot of different things. So that's good. AI, Cammie's going to get into this a little bit on the truck line side, but really where we're excited about investing in this is our customers have become so demanding with lots of different websites, lots of different ways that they expect us to go in and tell them what's going on with their freight. It's a big ask, and it just seems to keep growing and growing. So we really want to automate as much as we can that kind of work so that we don't have to be spending valuable time of our people to do that, and then we can focus those people on adding more value to those customers. So we're excited about what we can do with that. There's some great tools that Michael and his team have already learned. They're starting to do it. They have one project almost under the belt, and then another big one that's starting here. You'll hear some more about that. So we're excited about what that can do too.
Okay, with that said, Cammie and Scott, come on up.
Next slide, Scott. All right, good afternoon. I will start off with some of the good things that happened last fiscal year, beginning with our CSA improvement. We have 8 consecutive months of staying in the green, so that was a big involvement with our drivers, UBON in particular, operations, our shop, safety. So that was a company-wide effort, and the results have shown. We accomplished the ORCOM installation, which was routing over 675 trailers in here to get that done. UBON again led the charge along with Ryan and the shop. The best news is our drayage division growth last year. Sarah's not here, but Paul and Sarah did a great job executing that business, and Scott was relentless about getting that to grow. Despite the market conditions last year, our driver productivity did, increase year over year, 2.2%. Some of the focuses that we have for this year are to improve our regional fleet performance, on-time service reporting on all of our freight, and still, obviously, if we're doing so great in dray, we want to continue to try to grow that division. Okay, updates. No secret or surprise that there were a lot of market challenges last year. One of the biggest impacts was losing our Costco account. The team had to work really, really hard in replacing that freight, customer service, planners got involved, and thanks Jesse to his team for being able to fill in some of those gaps for us. And then our last resort was hitting the broker boards and getting broker freight, which we do want to acknowledge. We know that's not the most driver-friendly freight all the time with the live loads, live unloading, but we were really backed into a corner and we had to find a way to keep everybody productive. You're going to hear this a few more times, that service is our salesman, Al Hill's quote. I think Scott's adopted that now too. Our customers at the very minimum are expecting 98% on time, and they really do not have any mercy at all. So we have to do everything in our power to execute that business because we can't afford to lose any customer freight. They not only scorecard us on that, but it's timeliness of accepting freight, our check calls. So it's really important that we get the proper macros sent in with ETA, PTAs, or let someone know if you don't have the ability to make it on time so we have the opportunity to try to rescue that freight. And also with some of the reporting coming up that I'll talk about in AI, it's only as good as the information that is put into the system. So getting on to AI, which is pretty exciting. One thing I'll start off with is routing everybody in here to get their tablets in. Are those in now? Okay, that'll be happening soon to come. So we've all been communicated with that the new expectation with TransFlow is to send your bill of lading as you're leaving the shipper and sending in the POD before you depart the receiver. There's several reasons for that. One of the reasons is our accounting team is pushing about 6,000 invoices out a month. This automation will automate some of that and just automatically invoice by having the ability to scan those bill of ladings. Also, it's not very fun to try to recoup lost bill of ladings, and our customers will not pay us without proof of delivery. And there is, this is what I forgot last time, it does take the temperature off the bill of lading and add it into TMW in the system. So this is going to help us prevent any future claims or discrepancies within the system. And last, oh no, on to on-time service, I know, again, we are creating some internal reporting, and the main reason behind that is, believe it or not, we can dispute some of these lates that the customers say that we have, and we want to do that as much as possible so we can protect our business. Lastly, appointments. Customer service has, I can't keep track, multiple websites that they have to go in and update, and arrivals and departures and setting appointments. What this will do is go out, reach out to those websites, grab the first available appointment based on transit time, set it, and then we're done. So that you can see where that would create a lot of efficiencies within the team. Lastly, I want to give a safety lane reminder regarding trailers. If you come to the Omaha yard and the trailer has been green tagged within the last 24 hours, you do not need to take it through the safety lane. If it has not been green tagged within the last 24 hours, you either have to take it through the safety lane or you have to do a proper pre-trip. The same applies to the Omaha area customers. It's not necessary to bring it through here, but you do need to go through and do a proper pre-trip before you take it to the next facility. On my final note, I know everybody's had to work hard this last year. It hasn't been the most pleasant experience, but in particular, I want to give a shout out to the ops team. I know Uban Lee and the driver managers, Ryan with the planners, and just in general, we have planners booking freight, customer service booking freight, people swapping roles, really to try to keep everybody's wheels turning and going. And obviously, without the drivers executing the freight, none of us would have any jobs. So we really want to put focus on thanking them as well. And then I'll hand it off to you, Steph.
Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome. Hold on, turn this off.
All right, thanks again, Karen. Good afternoon, everybody. We'll start with something you've heard before. Service is our salesman. What does that mean? On-time service, delivering when you say you're going to deliver when the customer needs it, is the most critical thing we can do. What it does for us is it helps me in my role of going out and trying to do freight. We earn ourselves a reputation. A lot of times when I'm talking to customers, new ones that we haven't approached in a while, it's, yeah, I know Hill Brothers. I see your trucks around town. I've heard you guys are really good. You have a great reputation. So service is what earns us that. And I thank everybody in the room and everyone listening, all the drivers on the road today. Thank you for believing in that and really taking that to heart. We are fighting every single day. As you saw in the slides earlier, and a little bit of the graphs, we had a really hard winter. So every day we're fighting the battle to find new freight, find new opportunities, new lanes, different appointments, everything from top to bottom. We're finding a way to make it a little bit better and a little bit easier for you all to execute it and for us to keep it in-house. Here on the box, or on the graph on the right, you'll see our top 10 customers. This is June and July of last year, 2023, versus this year's June and July. We had one customer fall out that was related to our Costco business that Cammie mentioned. We added a new one in PetSmart. 7 of those customers in the 10 increased their revenue year over year. Kind of interesting to see with how the market's been, but nonetheless, it's pretty impressive that we were able to hold on to business, add a little bit more, and keep an eye on some of these rates. What we're working on this year, what we're after, is growing our long-haul dray division. Hauling the containers to the West Coast is a great job. It's a hard job, so thank you to all the professional drivers that do that. But we are going to focus really hard on growing that a little bit, finding the backhauls that match up with it, and making sure that's an attractive job for everybody. New regional freight in our network to keep everybody else busy and running. As Cammie mentioned, we had a lot of broker freight, which was a lot of live load, live unload. We're working hard to find some customers that will let us drop, increasing our efficiency, getting our drivers on the road faster, all of it. The target for rate improvements, nobody has a magic 8 ball, but from what we're learning and what Rob and Al are studying is that hopefully by Q1 2025, so this winter into early spring, we should be able to see a little bit of improvement on rates, and we're going to be on top of it. So as soon as we smell that starting, we're going to be on top of it. We're looking for new lanes every day, new opportunities. So bear with us. If you find yourself on something that may be new or different, we're trying everything we can to keep everybody moving. It's been a tough slog this last year or so, but thank you all for sticking with us, fighting through it with us, and we're going to make this next year pretty darn good. So thank you, everybody. I'll bring up Troy, who's going to talk about maintenance, and we're ready to roll.
And listen, this does not get any easier the second time. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep this as quick as possible so we are on time with this. Little things in the shop, you can basically see up there. We are trying to, we're making great strides for our new trucks, efficient tires, and engine transmission optimization to help with our fuel mileage. So that's working out very well for us. As they mentioned earlier, our cost per mile is pretty well. As far as the shop goes, they did mention something about some new tablets coming in. I'm just gonna throw this out there for the drivers, if you could help us out to make sure that passenger side is clean for us. We can get those things in and out of there and you guys will be out of the shop. Lickety split, okay? It shouldn't take that long. It's pretty in and out, couple power ground and you're out. So hopefully that'll be working great with us and ops and the planners to get you guys in and out of there as fast as we can. Pre-trips is a huge thing for us. We preach it till we're blue in the face. If you guys notice anything that is on a truck, reach out, say something to someone. We'll get it fixed, that way these drivers aren't down, get them going as fast as we possibly can. And let's see here, new tablet in the safety lane. We're trying to help our paper usage, so everything will be digital as far as our safety lane checks and our DOTs. So if we need a copy for one, we can just print it out. It'd be a lot easier for operation and anybody else needing safety as well. Let's see here. We want to touch base with everyone with a huge shout out to Breakdown and the drivers for reducing our breakdowns. Our preventative maintenance program, along with tire program, has greatly reduced our total breakdown. So great job, guys. Ellie, wherever you are, there you are. Great job. We are getting new trucks, as they did mention earlier. They will be having electric APUs, so hopefully that will help with our carbon footprint. Also help these drivers sleep a little bit more rather than not listening to that APU run all night. They're pretty simple, 4 batteries and more alternators, so you guys can run more stuff in your sleepers as well. Let's see where we at. I touched base on that. That's pretty much all we have in the shop. If there's anything you guys can do to help us out, please let us know. By all means, the more the merrier. That way I don't have to hear Uban or Ryan ask me for loaners. We have them, we do our best, so we'll try harder to get you more. Okay?
Try and get a loaner from Marvin and Ryan.
I'll do my best.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming in. Yes, appreciate that. I just want to start by giving a big shout out to Al, Pat, Pete, and Rob for listening to our vision, supporting our vision, and ultimately investing in our vision so that we can be 37 strong here at HBL and growing every single day. So let's take a round of applause real quick to thank them. We have a lot of unspoken synergies that go on day after day that we don't see a whole lot. The partnership between us and the truck line, partnership between us now, the emerging school, partnership between our IT teams and our AP and receivable teams. I just want to, and you'll hear this a lot from our leadership this next year, is, we're just not a truck line anymore. We're not a logistics company anymore. We're not a pro fleet anymore, right? We are a total transportation solutions company. And so we're just always better together, as the slide happily says. And so you'll hear a lot from us at senior leadership. That's kind of going to be our battle cry here in FY25 and moving forward, is let's use the resources and the value adds that we do a lot better than a lot of people out there in the market currently. All right, so don't want to spend a whole lot of time on FY24. We all know the story. It was a moment in time, right? Hill Brothers wouldn't be around for 45 plus years if we just gave in to a moment of time. I'm extremely confident with the talent that we have in the room and the processes that we put in place now and in the future that we'll be able to make this the quickest moment in time, not only in Hill Brothers, but in HBL history. But, you know, it does help for us to see where we were so that we can appreciate where we're going. So read this a little bit backwards. FY23, as you can see, a lot of green. We blew out all our core KPIs. Records were set. It was a fun time. Trash cans were getting mangled around the office, as my team can attest to. Well, then what happens, much like in any transportation market, there was a quick pivot, right? And I can attest that there was nothing that we did from an effort standpoint that led us to some of these numbers on the left-hand side. So through all that chaos, through all that effort, two of the things that I wanted to call out were we celebrated 2 promotions. Chris Morris was elevated to our Director of Sales. She's done a really, really good job, much like Alan Scott, finding the business, rating the business, bringing the business in so that we can operate and manufacture the Hill Brothers difference. Also, Erica was promoted to an account manager. We're starting to grow again, right? Our commitment to our customers is 25, 30 minutes or less. You're gonna have at least an acknowledged email. Well, we need to staff up to, as Cammie said, meet the commitments of some of our customers, so to speak. So here at Hill Brothers, we're always going to lead with transparency. Sometimes it's gonna be good for us, sometimes it's gonna get us in a little bit of trouble, but that's the way we've done it for 45 plus years, and that's the way we'll continue to do it. So, in these next slides, you'll see I've got a lot of silent confidence. Well, I guess if you know me, a lot of loud confidence going into this next year. We're extremely bullish with the men and women that we've been able to bring in to Hill Brothers Logistics, that we're gonna have a banner year. So let's real quick, before we move on, what were some of those factors? Don't want to dwell on them, but let's talk about them because they were real. We saw shippers reeling in costs post-COVID, not really concerned with strategies. You know, they have jobs, they have bosses to answer to. And they deliver a $100 million budget to their bosses and corporations, their shareholders, and say, hey, this is what we're gonna hit. And then the next year they turn it in with another $20, $30 million. That's not acceptable to their bosses. So when they had the leverage, and it turned quickly, as we all know, right? They started recycling rates quicker, and it became more about cost and self-preservation than what Hill Brothers Logistics was doing for them. Second, right, and no fault of our own, we became a little bit too three-dimensional. We had 3 of our top customers taking up about 52% of our time. And on the climb up to where we were and where we will be again, we were extremely diversified. So we're gonna get back to kind of that secret sauce and make sure that we're not putting all our eggs in one basket, so to speak. Next, our brand became transactional versus contractual, right? Cost savings versus performance. Shippers also took more risk on pop-up brokers. You know, everyone heard that logistics, you can make a lot of money. Well, as a lot of my team can attest, you really gotta love it. You gotta have a lot of grit to stay in this business. You can't just chase the money when it's good for you and then go away when it's not good for them, And so that's what we saw. Nick and I would be in a lot of calls with our customers and they'd say, hey, this is way under market. We know that they can't perform this, but hey, Nick, Jesse, we gotta at least try. Which is, right, concerning and a little bit frustrating because we've been servicing this business. They like doing business with us, but unfortunately, they had to try. And what we're seeing is they're coming back in droves, which we're extremely excited about. And then lastly, the successful hybrid model we offer just wasn't in demand, right? Logistics is the biggest poker game in town. But for a lot of these transportation managers or procurement managers, right, they want to see the asset line, they want to see the truck, they can smell it. Hopefully they don't want to taste it, but it's just more settling for them to see a truck line come in and out of their gates. And let's face it, there was a lot of truck lines over the last year looking for work. All right, so let's get rid of 24 and let's get back on to 25 and why we're so excited about where we're going. As you can see, Hill Brothers has always been a people-first organization, and Hill Brothers Logistics was built the exact same way. So as you can see, there's a lot of new talent that we've brought into this building to make sure that we deliver on the budget that I put in front of Rob, Al, Pat, and Pete, and confident that with our talent, we can deliver. So if you find yourself on this slide in the room, can you please stand up and let us welcome you to Hill Brothers?
Nicole?
So much like Lincoln, we've got an office down in the Haymarket, about 40 miles away. Started with 4 people. Due to Ty's leadership and our people's execution, we're growing, and we couldn't be more excited. So once again, if you find yourself on this slide, please stand up and be welcome into Hill Brothers. All right, so I keep talking about this climb that we're going to take here in the next fiscal year. So as you can see on the right-hand side, there's a lot of green numbers, and that's not going to happen overnight. We understand it's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take a lot of commitment, a lot of doing things that we haven't done before, being uncomfortable. That's when growth happens. So as you see that, and I look through the eyes of the men and women here at Hill Brothers Logistics, I'm extremely confident that we'll get these green numbers done. Well, these are just numbers. Let's talk about some of the processes in place that we're putting in there to make sure that our people can deliver on those numbers. So for the first time ever, right, 5 years ago came in, we were 18 million, and FY23, we were at 61 million. We only had 1 salesperson. So that means we did that all on the back of the brand and the reputation, and then the hard work of Chris Morris getting out there and selling for us. Well, now what we're doing is we're empowering Chris to have a team of mini Chris's out there banging on doors where it's hard. So the thought is when it gets easier, we'll just be catching that much more low-hanging fruit, and we couldn't be more excited. Some of the investments and the money that we talked about that Rob highlighted, Volk has a brand new building. Thank you guys so much for that. They couldn't be more excited about that. We're going to invest in a lot of marketing and technology. I talked Rob and Al into spending $40,000 into a marketing campaign so that we can get out there and take the fight to the customers to show them what we already know in this room, that we're really good at what we do. Also, we're going to invest in Parade, which Michael Dack back there is extremely happy with. What it does is it helps expand our carrier experience. It's a 24/7 digital booking platform, so while our team is out focused on what matters with their families, and regenerating for the day, freight can still be booked through our system. Second, we've invested in trucker tools, right? We're jumping in so many websites as ops knows. But we need to use some of that technology to help us. When a customer comes up out of nowhere and asks us where that truck is, we'll have real-time visibility that we haven't had before in HBL. It just can be that more efficient and pivot for our customers. And also, we have no plan on going backwards. So we are going to have more transactions. And we are a little bit needy here at Hill Brothers Logistics, so we want to arm and help Kent and Nikki and Brianda's team to be able to turn those transactions, as I know myself and Tyler want to rev up right now. And then lastly, before I turn it over to Tyler, I want to say that I've been accused of being a little bit competitive and a little bit demanding. But there are certain people in here that I lean on for our success here at Hill Brothers Logistics to hear my vision and coach it into our people to be successful. So when I call your name, please stand up to be recognized. I couldn't do it without you. And I just want to highlight, sometimes this is at the sacrifice of them being at home with their families so that they can grow and make this place special. So when I call your name, please stand up and be recognized. Michael Dack. Thank you guys, really appreciate it. Now, I'm obviously extremely biased. I'm really pro HBL, but we do have an emerging division that thinks that they can compete with Omaha sooner than later. So I'm going to get out of the way and I'm going to let him talk. It's a gentleman that I've known for years and I respect immensely. He's going to do some really good things for us here at Hill Brothers. Our Director of Bulk Operations, Tyler Shilberg.
Hello, everybody. again, I'm Tyler, so I'm the director down in our Lincoln office. So we were fortunate enough to be here last year at this time. I'm sure you guys have heard rumblings, at least, of a Lincoln spot. We are located down in the Haymarket. Just actually moved up a floor because we outgrew our first space. So the photos up there on top, we actually envisioned us being there probably for another 4 or 5 years. 30, 40, probably even 50 million to get us up to those numbers. So we would not be here if it wasn't for the success that you guys have had, obviously, the last 45 years. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity, the team that we've built, obviously to Destiny helping us out, getting off the ground, T-Bone, Travis, Faye. Thank you guys for jumping on board with us, believing in Jesse and I's vision. We knew there was no risk because we will not fail. We're very grateful for the opportunity. Does anyone even know what like a hopper trailer is? We got some small farm town people kind of shaking their heads, yes. Grain trailers is another terminology for it. So it's a very different niche, right? You look at the logistics industry as a whole, you guys think of the vans, the reefers, the flatbeds. I mean, this just gives us a whole nother arm with our customers to cross-sell. We bring in ingredients, you guys call the finished feed out. I mean, we're doing A to Z with them, and they don't have to call anybody else. So we're very, very excited, and like Rob and Al were saying, I mean, one little blemish in anybody's division can impact the others. So we're very dedicated to you guys to making sure we'll sacrifice and do what's needed to make sure all that freight is secure. But we are very, very excited. We've doubled. I think we had 3 people here last year. We're up to 10 strong now. We envision doubling again here for the next fiscal year. So if you guys ever make your way down to Lincoln, please, please, please come on in. We got a bar on our rooftop, which is very deadly. My wife actually has me on the Find My Friends app, right? She has no idea if I'm in the office, in the bar. Neither does Boyer or Al, so that's good too. But we are working. So yeah, we down in the Lincoln area, we hope to recruit a lot of talent. You know, we plan on having internship programs. You know, I'm probably going to talk to Al at some point about getting hopper trailers. I mean, we have a very big vision for Hill Brothers. We're really excited, but once again, we couldn't have done it with all of you guys. So thank you for the opportunity. We'll make you proud, and obviously, once again, for you guys believing in Jesse and I to jump on board. T-Bone, you were just looking for any job, so at that point, I appreciate you joining on. But yeah, he's done a great job. He's been with one of our day ones. You guys had, you know, very established careers, so there's a lot of people I can sit here and thank, but we're really excited and ready for fiscal year 25. So Roger, Pro Fleet, up next.
No drop. Thank you. Yeah. Try not to this time.
Give me that for a second, because I'm only going to be here for a second. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mitch Evans, one of the directors around here. Pro Fleet is one of the things that I help take care of. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's for you. A little over 2 years ago, got with Rob, Pete, Pat, Al, and said, hey, what do you think about this? And they said, go ahead and do it. First year was brutal. We had a lot of things to learn. And if it wasn't for the execution provided by Bill and Zach, I can't imagine we'd be standing here celebrating 2 full years. And our second year was remarkably improved for one reason. I was smart enough to hire this guy. So Roger, thank you so much for joining Pro Fleet.
Thank you, sir.
And look forward to a third year with your leadership.
Absolutely. Well, again, if we were just to go by bullet points, we'd have to have 4 or 5 slides, at least 30 minutes. So, as you can see, we've made some leaps and bounds. But without Al, Pete, and Pat, and their belief in giving us the tools, it wouldn't be possible. Rob, his insight and his direction on keeping us profitable is amazing. Okay, Mitch, so many hours behind the scenes. We thank you, and we can't thank you enough. My staff, Bill, thank you for all your instruction. Thank you for all your behind the scenes. Okay, my instructors that are out there pounding the pavement every day. to make sure that our students, and we have one of them here, make sure our students, whether it's rain, sleet, snow, are getting the education that they need. Jen, thank you for juggling, trying to get recruitment up and being our administrative assistant, and taking the valuable time on your lunch break to give Bill extremely valuable relationship advice, and I know he appreciates that. I'd like to thank all of our partners that we partnered with over the last year, okay? And there's many. Hawkins Construction, Willis, Wilbur Ellis, yes, say that 5 times fast. Wilbur Ellis, Pitney Bowes, Army Corps of Engineers. The thanks goes out to all of our partnerships, okay? And real quick, I'd like to finish off with, we've just partnered with the state of Nebraska with a reentry program. We're now in the second cohort of that reentry program. We're training individuals to get their CDL that are still incarcerated. We're trying to end the rate of recidivism, okay? And we're changing lives one CDL at a time. Just like to give a quick 30-second story. Ed Cheney, one of our former students that's still incarcerated, paid every 2 weeks. His last paycheck was $3,600 minus Uncle Sam's high five, okay? He's never made more than $11 an hour before, legally, okay? So we're changing people's lives one CDL at a time, and I just want to thank again the entire Hill Brothers family, all of my team, but thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you. Looking at future growth, we're on the cusp of being VA approved, so that will help. But thank you again for all your time and effort. And who's next?
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you. Try not to fall.
Okay, we're going to have some presentations now from Brianna Ziegler, our CFO, and Mitch is going to follow that up. These are the folks in our shared services behind the scenes, the work that they do that allows all of our business units and a lot of us out there to do what we do, give us the tools, give us the computers, give us all those things to make sure buildings are taken care of, etc. And of course, keeping track of all the money. So Brianna Ziegler unfortunately couldn't be here in person today. It's her birthday. She's on a trip out in California. But we do have her voiceover for the next few slides. So she's going to take you through our financial position, first of all, how we're doing there. And then she's going to get into the areas that she manages, HR, IT, and the accounting department. And then Mitch is going to come follow up after that with the recruiting and the safety teams. So with that, here we go.
Hello, I'm Brianna Ziegler, the Chief Financial Officer for Hill Brothers, and I manage our IT, HR, accounting, and finance teams. It's my pleasure to share a few details about our financial position, all the incredible things we accomplished in '24, and our outstanding plans for '25. News feeds continue to report that trucking companies like Yellowcorp, Convoy, and Surge Transportation are exiting the business because they can't make ends meet in this tight market. I'm sure this news is alarming to many of you, but I wanted to share that unlike these other companies, we have a stable financial position. Healthy bank accounts are an essential indicator of the business's financial stability. When we have cash in the bank, it provides us with a peace of mind and some security. It ensures enough liquidity to cover our operating expenses. In addition, excess cash is also a buffer against unforeseen financial challenges. And folks, we have funds available. So what are we doing with these funds? The brothers are committed to reinvesting into the company. In 2024, we purchased a net of $4.9 million of equipment, both new and used. We bought 33 new day cabs, 13 sleepers, 27 new dry vans, 26 new reefer trailers, and a few used tractors. This year, we'll purchase an additional 33 new tractors. At this time, there are no plans to buy new trailers, but we do have access to some if we gain some new business that requires more than we have. In addition, banks are lining up to lend us money, which is a good sign. We have about $10 million in funds available to borrow, and we're headed into a line of credit renewal with 2 banks in September, which will open up more credit opportunities. In addition, we paid off 9 trailers and more than $600,000 of tractor debt balances in the past 2 months. We will also close on 2 trailer leases in November. Investing in equipment shows that we are committed to the business and preparing for the long term. Management and ownership's commitment to efficiency and profitability is unwavering. We will continue to closely monitor our cash flow to ensure that the company and our families have a sustainable future. Thank you to the accounting and finance team for being unbelievable. In 2024, we focused on developing financial reports and analysis for the trucking and logistics divisions, and we're keeping management informed on asset efficiency, profitability, and costs. 2024 was all about cost savings. We saved money in fuel and overhead costs. Let me tell you what we did. We negotiated a 3-cent per gallon fuel discount with Love's, helping improve the delivery margin and saving the company over $300,000 in fuel costs. Overhead department managers were challenged to reduce their combined overhead expenses by at least $1 million in fiscal 2024. They exceeded this challenge and generated savings of $1.36 million. The AR and billing teams were relentless about bringing cash in the door. It's a daily grind, billing one invoice at a time, validating all the paperwork, and trying to collect from our customers. They do an exceptional job and continue to improve their methods day in and day out. They started implementing Traction at the beginning of this calendar year and have seen significant difference in their output since this time. AP has made key financial staffing changes to ensure our vendors are paid accurately, on time, and with the appropriate approvals. Now that we have the right people on staff, we're all ready for 2025, and we plan to implement the logistics AI software. It's our first big AI. The dedication of our IT team is extraordinary. They accomplished so much in 2024. They moved headquarters to the M Street building, which took about 6 months from start to finish. It was a tremendous amount of planning and much heavy lifting. Outside vendors who helped said they had never seen a team move a company more efficiently. They also evaluated Hill Brothers' software costs and eliminated outdated or underused tools, contributing to much overhead savings. They developed an easier workflow for the drivers on the ELD tablets to help them get from load to load more efficiently, and also improved the integration between these tablets and TMW. There's many exciting things planned for 2025 in the IT department. They've already moved Bulk to a beautiful new office. They only have a few finishing touches to complete once the office furniture arrives. They will continue working with all departments to improve efficiencies, as mentioned before, by ops and logistics. They'll use Power Automate to automate repetitive tasks for many of our team members. They'll help the shop complete their tablet implementation, which they'll use to eliminate paper for safety checks. And finally, they'll move our Microsoft products to Office 365 in the cloud. Thank you, IT team, for all your hard work and all you have accomplished. Now, on to our impressive human resources team. In 2024, we added a new position to lead the office recruiting and development efforts. This position aims to attract, hire, and develop our office employees to ensure we have the right people in the right seats to meet our current and future needs. Secondly, the HR team completed 2 fundamental process improvement projects. The first was the new tariff redesign, which made settlements less complicated for drivers. The second was integrating 10th Street and Paylocity software, so drivers only had to enter their personal data in one system instead of 2. Both projects saved the company time and money. Finally, we negotiated a flat rate for our healthcare benefits by changing our HSA, dental, and supplemental health providers. This allowed us to keep employee and company healthcare costs the same from 2023 to 2024. Currently, the company now pays about 62% of all the healthcare costs for employees. Well, what's up for 25? We plan to help the E-team with the traction implementation Rob mentioned earlier, and we'll continue our leadership and development training programs for our office staff. We'll continue to move our employee documents into Paylocity so they're in one location, and we plan to update the employee manual. We have hired a new payroll and settlements coordinator, Amber, who is training with Mary. Mary is leaving us this year for a well-earned retirement, and we wish her lots of joy. Thank you to the information technology, human resources, accounting, and finance teams. We couldn't have executed all this work without each of you. You're amazing, unbelievable, and extraordinary. Thank you for serving our drivers, office staff, and management.
That's Brianna there for any of you that may not know. And now we're gonna, Mitch, come in. Keep this rolling.
Thank you, Rob, and thank you, computer voice Brianna. Couple of things. You see some of the highlights in the recruiting safety team. Certainly, out front of recruiting is our marketing efforts. I just crossed the 3-year line a couple of months back. And when I first got here, marketing at Hill Brothers was almost exclusively marketing to future drivers. Come work for Hill Brothers because we're incredible, and we are, we still are. And that's our #1 message, that's our #1 spend. But as Jesse, I'm getting ready to point, he's not here. Oh, there he is. Jesse and Rob already alluded to is we're gonna be spending some monies now and aim it at our customers. And here in a second, you're going to see the fruits of that labor. So on behalf of some of the volunteers that you'll see in that video, Nick, and Sarah's not here anymore. Who is it? Oh, Nick's the only one here, but you'll see yourself in that commercial. That's what happens when you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. So yeah, marketing's really picked up, and we're working a lot with a company down next to Bulk called Red Thread. Recruiting, boy, what can I say about Rachel and Jennifer? They're the best. I mean, they're the best recruiters I've ever worked with. And Jennifer's here, so Jennifer, thank you. And real quick, as you can see, 2 people, and with the support of the safety team and a few other groups, 180 drivers we onboarded last year. I mean, that's phenomenal. It's our #1 group of employees at Hill Brothers is our drivers. So a lot of resources, a lot of time, and a lot of effort. But as I was taking a moment to think about saying thank you to Jennifer. How many of you have ever read your job description? And there's a line at the bottom that says, other duties as assigned. How many of you have been, I wouldn't call it victim of your manager going, hey, would you mind? Yeah, and here's the thing, and I started looking around the room, and it's incredible. I've never worked at any place where more people do more things to drive everything that we do here. I've never heard anybody say, well, that's not my job. Started with Jennifer. She's a full-time recruiter, but for the better part of 6 months, she sat at the ProFleet desk, answered phones, talked to future students as they walked through the door in English and Spanish. And that's been a huge value add. How many of you remember the picture I took when I caught our owner out on L Street in a blizzard with a front end loader pulling trucks, not only Hill Brothers trucks, but our competitors. He was pulling everybody off the ice. What about Pat Hill? You ever seen him out on a forklift? Yeah, I've seen him there. He's OSHA approved though, by the way. And it's on and on. Zach has gotten out there. How many of you have seen Ryan or Cameron? Right, the bosses of operations, planning trucks, working late, right? So the other duties is assigned. I've never been in an organization where more people get in the trenches. That's fantastic. That's why, even though we have rough years and you've heard it from everybody else, the reason that we're ready to thrive is because of that. So on behalf of all of you folks that agreed to do other duties as assigned. Thank you. That's all I have. Real quick, I'll tell you one last thing. Raul Soria, our safety director, is in Indianapolis right now, rooting on David Standry. How many of you knew that David Standry is the Nebraska representative for sleeper berth trucks and is competing to be a national champion? One, congratulate them both, because I think David's going to bring home gold. But two, Raul was runner-up as Safety Director of the Year at the TCA. And that was a little bird that whispered that into my ear. So there's nothing wrong with silver. Silver is a hell of an accomplishment. But for me, working with Raul for 3 years, I was so blown away and impressed by his resume. He is, I mean, just out there doing everything, not only to keep the motoring public safe, but to help all of us. So next time you see Raul, give him a congratulations. We did nominate him for Nebraska Safety Director of the Year. We're waiting to hear those results. I feel pretty good about that, though, because we know the chairman. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, trying to work this thing right. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about traction operating system. You heard Brianna mention it a little bit earlier. I know the bulk team over at Lincoln's probably familiar with it. And for a lot of us here, really traction is a system, an operating system that we're going to be embracing more fully in the next year to fully implement it. It's really a journey we started several years ago, being involved with Revella, and I know a lot of managers in the room have been trained through Revella. But Revella really got us started with a lot of the tenets of this operating system, and we're going to continue that journey. So what it's going to mean is, what it's really trying to do is connect and really drive a lot more horsepower in your organization by taking every one of you and really helping you get more connected to the overall mission of the company and understanding what you do every day and how that impacts the entire company in the direction that we're going. So we're excited about it. The executive team has already been started working on it. We've had several meetings on it. So we're getting into it. You're going to hear a lot more about it through the year, but it's really meant with you in mind, to empower you, to help you understand more what you do every day and how it drives the results that we put up here at the end of the quarter and at the end of the year. One of the things it's going to do is hopefully educate you more on the goals that we have as an organization, where we're trying to go, and then the things that we're doing each year to really drive into those goals, which is some of the things that we have up here. Along the way, it's going to get into better process documentation, really helping us make sure the processes that we have are as efficient as possible. It's going to help us with our meetings, hopefully. I know a lot of us dread having to go to meetings, but they are essential, but that doesn't mean that they couldn't be better. So we think we can make our meetings more efficient, and we can improve our processes, and overall add a lot more horsepower to the organization to drive more performance for all of us. So look forward to hearing more about that as we keep going through that.
There's a lot of goals up there.
Oh yeah.
We're pretty excited about that, guys. So obviously, thanks for all you do for all of us, all you drivers that are here. Thank you. What's your number one thing you got to think about? Safety and being on time. I tell you what, guys, service really is our salesman. On-time service gets us more business. That is a phrase to live by in this business.
Sounds like some people have heard it.
Yep. So anyway, we're doing an all-employee event at the Bellevue Berry Farm on the 14th. There's more to follow, more information to follow. That week, it's also Driver Appreciation Week, September 15th through the 21st. We'll get things ready for that. I'm going to let Rod talk about investing in marketing with our brand. Rod?
Yeah, you've heard a few people already, Jesse and Mitch, talk about this. Both of them very involved in this. Jesse mentioned being here 5 years ago, or for 5 years. He's brought a lot of firsts to Hill Brothers, and this is another one of them. This has been a tough year for all of us. It's been really tough to be out in front of customers trying to sell freight. And Jesse brought this to us. He says, he says, I know we're different, I know we're better. We need to find a way to show our customers this, that can really catch their attention. So we invested with Red Thread, who Mitch mentioned, on this campaign. So you're gonna see a commercial here in a moment, which is really us preparing to thrive, like we talk about in that circle of this industry. So this is us investing, and honestly, this is a testament to our ownership and the team that we have. The team that recognizing Jesse and his team that says, hey, we need it, and an ownership team that goes, boy, we've never done this, but we understand what it's trying to do, and we're going to invest in this to drive us to thrive even better than we otherwise would. So we're excited about it. This is part of it too, for those of you who don't know, conveniently called diesel fuel. These are things that Jesse and the sales team can leave behind at a customer. And
It's not diesel fuel, it's a drink.
it's an energy drink. Yeah. So not every freight buyer gets somebody that comes in, gives them something like this, that has this commercial on it that you're gonna see, that they can just open up and see. Our hope is that they think this is pretty cool. They show it maybe to their buddy who isn't buying freight from us, and maybe that starts a relationship. Who knows? But it's something that the sales team can leave behind that says, hey, maybe this Hill Brothers is different. And then they fell, as Pat would say, right into our trap, and then we can show them how great we are. So we're gonna sign out with this. This commercial's gonna run afterwards. You're free to go. But this is Hill Brothers here preparing to thrive.
Thank you.
When Hill Bros Trucking and Logistics began, we had a vision that our hard work would allow people to focus on the important things in life. We know that our customers' needs are varied, and because of that, so are we. Whether your freight goes across town or across the country, we have the capabilities to help. We meet you wherever your needs take you. Ready to serve. You can trust that we will be there with you through opportunities and challenges.
No problem. Let us focus on it.